Cephalosporins. Four generations, so many drugs, so many similar drug names, and in exams, everything gets mixed up. But what if you don't have to remember full names at all? What if just a few small codes can help you recall everything? Welcome to Pharma Palette. In this video, I will teach you the cephalosporins classification using pure code method. So even if you forget long names, you can still write correct answers in exams. So stay till the end because these codes will stick in your mind instantly. So you already know that the cephalosporins are divided into four generations. So coming back to the first class, that is first generation. So this first generation cephalosporins are again divided into two. One is oral and parenteral. In the first generation class, just remember only fa. Only one simple word fa and this first generation will be done. Like any example, if it is having FA or PHA in its name, that means that comes under this first generation cephalosporins. Now let's try to see the examples. So normally in the oral, you will be having cephalexin and cephadroxil. Cephalexin, cephadroxil, and in the parenterals you have cefazolin. Like if you can observe these names, so there is the term FA, PHA, FA. Like if you can see any drug name, if it is having these terms, you can blindly say that these will be coming under the first generation. So remember, first generation means they will be having FA. So in the oral, it is cephalexin and cephadroxil, and in the parenterals, it is cefazolin. Now coming back to the second generation, second generation are again further divided into two subclasses. So one is oral again and parenterals. So in the second generation, in the oral class, remember it as fa, fu, pro. So in the first generation, it is only fa. But in the second generation, oral class, it is fa, fu and pro. And in the parenteral, remember it as fox, fur. Fox and fur. Clear? Fox and fur. Now by using these tricks, let's try to write the examples. So in the oral, it is fa, fu, pro. So one example is cefaclor. One more example is cefuroxim acetyl. And pro means it is cefprozil. And here there is also one more thing. I already said that in the first generation they'll be having FA in its name. But here in the second generation there is also one drug that is having FA. So here to remove that confusion I'll give you one more trick for this oral class. So remember it as chlor, uro, pro. If any drug, if it is having chlor, uro and pro, that will be coming under this oral class second generation. So remember it as fa, fu, pro or chlor, uro and pro. Now coming back to this parenteral class. So fox, fur. So there is one example that is cefoxitin. And fur means it is cefuroxim. Cefoxitin and cefuroxim comes under this parenteral, that too in the second generation. So coming back to the third class, that is the third generation. So this third generation is again divided into two classes. One is oral and one is parenteral again. So, coming back to this oral class, I'll be giving some terms. So, remember them. One is fix, rod, din, but tam. Fix, rod, din, but tam. And in the parenterals, remember it as para, tus, tis, tria, tox, triatax. Para, tus, tis, triatax will be the parental codes. So by using these words, let's try to write the examples under this. So in the third generation, in the oral class, so first term is fix. So the example here is cefixim. It is not rod, it is pod. So the second term is pod. It is cephalosporins. You can also call it as cephalosporin proxitil. And next one is din. So it is cefdinir. Next one is but, which means ceftibutane. Then the last one is tam, which means ceftamet pivoxyl. Ceftamet pivoxyl. So if any drug, if it is having the terms like fix, pod, din, but, tam, that will be coming under the third generation, especially in the oral class. Now coming back to this parental, in the third generation, so first one is para. So the example is cephalosporin. Next one is tus. So the example is ceftazidime. Next term is tis. So the example is ceftriaxone. Then it is tria. The example is ceftriaxone. Ceftriaxone. Then the last one is tax. It is ceftaxime. So if any drug, if it is having the terms like para, tus, tis, tria, tax, will be coming under the third generation, especially in the parental class. Now coming back to the last generation, which is fourth generation. So in the fourth generation, just remember that FEP or FP, cefipim, cefipime or cefpirome. Cefipime or cefpirome comes under this fourth generation. So any term if it is having FEP or FP will be coming under this fourth generation cephalosporins. See, just remember these simple codes and this complete classification will be done. So simply in the first generation, remember it as Pha. And in the second generation, remember it as Chlor, Europro or Phosphor. And for third generation, remember it as Fix, Pod, Din, But, Tam. For parental, remember it as Peri, Tas, Tis, Tria, Tax. And for fourth gen, remember it as FEP and FP. Now tell me, is it really difficult or was it just confusing before? You didn't learn 20 drug names today. You have just learned Fa, Fu, Fox, Fur, Fix, Pod, and that's enough to unlock everything. If you remember these codes, you can reconstruct the entire classification anytime, anywhere. So don't try to be perfect, just be consistent. One code a day is more than enough. If this made pharmacology easier for you, make sure to like the video, share it with your study partners, subscribe to Pharma Palette and click the bell icon. See you all in the next video and thanks for watching.